Mass protests erupt in Venezuela over disputed election results. Thousands of opposition supporters have taken to the streets across Venezuela to protest Nicolas Maduro's disputed victory in last month's presidential election. Opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, who had been in hiding after being accused of insurrection, joined demonstrators in Caracas, urging them not to be afraid. The opposition claims their candidate, Edmundo Gonzalez, won by a wide margin, but the Electoral Commission, controlled by Maduro allies, declared Maduro the winner with 52% of the vote. Independent observers cited a lack of transparency in the process. Since the election on July 29, anti-government protests have intensified, with over 2,400 people detained according to the Venezuelan government. The United Nations has condemned the fierce repression of street protests and social media criticism. Similar demonstrations have occurred worldwide, from Australia to Spain and across the Americas. The European Union, United States, and several Latin American nations have refused to recognize the election results. Meanwhile, Maduro insists he won a third six-year term and has mocked opposition claims. As tensions rise, police and army forces have been deployed to monitor both pro-government and opposition rallies. The situation remains volatile as the opposition vows to continue pressuring Maduro to concede, while the government shows no signs of backing down.
Kamala Harris faces pivotal moment at Democratic National Convention. Vice President Kamala Harris is set to accept the Democratic presidential nomination at the party's national convention in Chicago this week, marking a crucial point in her political career. Since replacing President Biden as the nominee in mid-July, Harris has seen a surge in enthusiasm among Democrats, reflected in polling, fundraising, and rally attendance. However, this momentum follows years of doubt within her party about her ability to run for the presidency. Harris, 59, has struggled with low approval ratings and staff turnover during her vice presidency. But advisors say she has sharpened her political skills and built credibility on key issues like abortion rights. Recent polling shows Harris ahead or tied with former President Trump in 6 of 7 battleground states. However, she still faces challenges in appealing to some demographic groups that were part of Biden's 2020 coalition. At the convention, Harris is expected to focus on her personal story and vision for the country. She will need to address concerns about her past policy positions and navigate divisive issues like the Israel-Gaza conflict. As the first female, African American, and Asian American vice president, Harris faces high expectations in her bid to defeat Trump in what remains a tight and unpredictable contest.
Mpox emergency status chance to redress mistakes. Declaring the fast-spreading Mpox outbreak in Africa a global health emergency gives the World Health Organization an opportunity to fix mistakes that previously gave the continent little help, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa said. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus called Mpox a public health emergency of international concern on Wednesday as cases climbed, a day after the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention declared a continent-wide version for the first time.
Chinese stock investors lose a key indicator to gauge sentiment. China may see its first yearly outflow from equities in 2024, but if and when it happens, investors won't know from exchange data. That's because the country's stock exchanges will stop releasing daily data on overseas fund flows starting Monday, depriving investors of a key sentiment indicator to track the $8.3 trillion market.
Musk vows to close X's Brazil operations, will maintain service. Elon Musk's X is closing its operations in Brazil while keeping the service available in the country, according to posts Saturday from the social media platform. The announcement marks the latest step in a showdown between the world's richest man and Brazil's Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes, who is spearheading efforts to combat fake news and hate speech in Latin America's largest economy.